the paradox of vulnerability. Now, that's a phrase that might just catch your ear, isn't it? It's not merely a contradiction, but a window, one that opens up to a peculiar landscape where emotions are both wild and contained, where love is both ardent and elusive. Welcome to this exploration of how avoidants secretly fall in love, often long before they muster the courage or the foolishness, whichever you prefer, to reveal it. Imagine, if you will, a grand old library, the kind with musty tomes and creaky wooden floors. Each book on the shelf is a story, a life, a world unto itself, much like the heart of an avoidant, closed, withdrawn, seemingly indifferent to the curious hands that attempt to pry them open. And yet, inside those covers, there lies a narrative as rich and tumultuous as any epic ever told. You see, the avoidant's heart is not a barren wasteland. It's a fortress teeming with life, guarded fiercely against intruders, yet yearning, almost desperately, for someone to decipher the complex code of its defenses. Our story begins with a character we'll call Oliver. Oliver, you see, is a master of the art of deflection, a seasoned veteran in the battlefield of emotions. To the untrained eye, Oliver is the epitome of self-reliance, a stoic figure who saunters through life with a casual detachment. His relationships are like his suits, tailored, impeccable, and kept at a distance. Now here comes the twist, or shall we say, the first crack in the armor. Enter a character whom we shall refer to as Clara. Clara is a whirlwind of spontaneity and warmth, a contrast to Oliver's measured demeanor. Her laughter is infectious, her presence like a sunbeam piercing through the overcast skies of Oliver's carefully curated world. She doesn't just walk into a room, she transforms it. At first, Oliver is unaware of the subtle shifts occurring within him. It starts with a fleeting thought, an inexplicable warmth when Clara's name is mentioned. Perhaps he notices her kindness, the way she listens intently, or her uncanny ability to remember the smallest details about those she encounters. But you see, Oliver is not one to acknowledge such feelings outright. Oh no, that would be far too straightforward. Instead, Oliver embarks on a complex dance of avoidance and introspection. He finds himself taking the longer route to the office just to catch a glimpse of Clara at her favorite cafe. He becomes acutely aware of his own heartbeat when she stands too close, yet maintains an air of indifference, like a seasoned actor who has perfected his role. The real intrigue lies in the internal dialogue, the silent soliloquy that plays out within Oliver's mind. What is this feeling? He wonders. Is it admiration or something more? He tells himself it's merely curiosity, a passing interest. But the truth is far more layered. It's as if an unseen hand has turned the pages of his story, revealing a chapter he wasn't quite prepared to read. As the days turn into weeks, Oliver's defenses begin to falter, not with grand gestures, but with small, almost imperceptible changes. He starts to linger a little longer in conversations with Clara, his wit and humor becoming a bridge to span the emotional chasm he's so accustomed to maintaining. He offers her a book, one of his prized possessions, under the guise of sharing a common interest. Yet this act is laden with unspoken significance, a key to his hidden world, should she choose to accept it. And now we reach the heart of the matter, the moment when Oliver, despite himself, begins to envision a future that includes Clara. It's a future that terrifies and exhilarates him in equal measure. Here lies the crux of avoidant love, a paradox of longing and fear, a dance of proximity and distance. Oliver's mind, ever the fortress, begins its campaign of rationalization. She's just a friend, he assures himself, even as he finds solace in her smile, comfort in her presence. He constructs scenarios where he remains the distant observer, yet inevitably his heart betrays him, whispering truths that his mind is not yet ready to confront. In the grand tapestry of life, Love for an avoidant is not a sudden storm, but a gradual thaw, an unfolding mystery. They might not shout their affections from the rooftops or pen sonnets under the moonlight. Instead, they express it through actions, small, tender gestures that speak volumes to those attuned to their frequency. Oliver, for instance, might notice Clara's penchant for Earl Grey tea and ensure it's always stocked in the office pantry. He might remember her fondness for a particular author and casually mention a reading event she might enjoy. These acts, seemingly trivial, are the breadcrumb trail leading to his heart. Yet, the journey is not without its trials. There are moments when Oliver recoils, drawing back into his shell, fearing the vulnerability that love demands. He questions his worthiness, the risk of exposing his true self. It's a dance of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, a hesitant waltz on the parquet floor of affection. And then, the inevitable turning point, the moment Oliver can no longer deny the truth that has been quietly weaving itself into the fabric of his being. Perhaps it's a fleeting glance, a shared laugh, or the silent understanding that passes between them. Whatever the catalyst, it ignites a spark that illuminates the path ahead. Oliver, in a rare moment of candor, decides to trust his heart, to embrace the uncertainty that love brings. He understands that to truly connect with Clara, he must step out from behind the walls he's so carefully constructed. It's a leap of faith, a surrender to the beautiful chaos of human connection. And so, with trembling hands and a heart laid bare, Oliver takes the plunge. It's not a grand declaration or a dramatic gesture, but rather a simple, heartfelt admission, a soft-spoken acknowledgement of the love that has quietly taken root within him. In the end, the tale of how avoidants secretly fall in love is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the courage to embrace vulnerability, and the profound beauty of connection. It's a reminder that even the most guarded hearts are capable of love, and that sometimes the greatest journey is the one that leads us back to ourselves. And there it is, the paradox resolved, the enigma unveiled. The avoidant, once a mystery wrapped in solitude, emerges into the light of love, a willing participant in the dance of life. It's a story of hope, of transformation, and above all, of the quiet, enduring power of love.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.